Hello, my brilliant cosmic particles, ready to break a few laws of physics today. Welcome to the place where ideas ignite and the impossible becomes possible. Here, we believe that the universe isn't just a set of rules, it's a playground of endless wonder and discovery. Today, we're diving into a thought experiment that will stretch your mind and ignite your curiosity. The title, What If Gravity Became a Daily Variable? Fasten your neural seatbelts, because this is going to be a weird, wonderful quantum ride. One. Imagine waking up to a world where gravity is no longer a reliable friend, but a mischievous trickster. One morning, you step outside, expecting the familiar gentle pull that keeps your coffee in your mug and your feet firmly on the ground. But instead, it's as if gravity decided to play a game. Sometimes it's weak, like a fluttering butterfly, barely holding you down. Other times, it's a monstrous force, yanking you down with the ferocity of a wild beast, making you feel like a ragdoll caught in a tornado of invisible hands. And this is where it gets interesting. Throughout the day, gravity fluctuates unpredictably, like a drunken puppet master pulling strings at random. Morning might start with a gentle dip, allowing papers to float lazily into the air, giggling as they drift away. By midday, it could become so intense that even your heaviest furniture threatens to launch itself into orbit. You hear the whooshing sounds of objects shifting, the thud of things falling, the squeal of surprise from your own body as you struggle to keep your balance. It's chaos, your world, a surreal roller coaster of weights and lightness where nothing is stable and the laws of physics are just suggestions, much, much stranger. The question swirling in your mind is, can this unpredictable gravity be controlled? Or is it just another cosmic joke forever teasing us with its whims? And that changes everything. That's just one of the consequences. What other absurd chain reaction can you think of? Write it down in the comments. My quantum toaster needs new ideas. Phase 2. Welcome to the wild, wobbly world where gravity is no longer a loyal servant, but a moody, fluctuating diva. Just imagine waking up to the ceiling, suddenly feeling like a trampoline, your bed bouncing like a rubber duck in a storm. You step outside, and the streets are no longer solid pathways, but more like giant, unpredictable slapsticks. Buildings. They're no longer static monoliths, but living, breathing organisms that sway, stretch, and sometimes even fold themselves in a grotesque dance of structural chaos. Imagine the sound, sometimes a deep, ominous groan as a skyscraper shifts weight, and other times a squealing protest as your chair unexpectedly turns into a mini roller coaster. And this is where it gets insane. Living beings have to adapt too. Humans might develop muscles that can flex like rubber bands, or bones that can stretch like caramel. Just picture a world where people can crouch and spring with such flexibility. It's like a cosmic yoga class gone berserk. Vehicles? Oh, they're basically giant, bouncing jellies that can hop over potholes or flatten into puddles when gravity dips low. Every step, every breath becomes a game of balance, an intricate ballet of physics and chaos. And the best part, with gravity shifting faster than your favorite playlist, architecture must evolve into living, breathing structures that can flex, shrink, or expand on command. Much, much stranger, my friends, and that changes everything. Now tell me, what bizarre new invention would you dream up to survive this gravity roller coaster? Write it down in the comments. My quantum toaster needs fresh ideas. Waste 3. Welcome to the wild, wobbling world of biological adaptation. Imagine, if you will, your human body so beautifully designed for a steady, cozy gravity, now thrown onto a roller coaster of cosmic pulls. One day, you're feeling the gentle hug of Earth's gravity, and the next, it's like being caught in a cosmic wrestling match with an invisible giant. And that changes everything. Just picture your muscles and bones straining, groaning, and evolving faster than a caffeinated squirrel on a trampoline. Over generations, humans develop new, super-engineered muscular bundles. Think of them as biological suspension bridges, swaying and adjusting to stay upright when gravity shifts from gentle lullabies to wild, unpredictable thunderstorms. Skeletons become flexible, like the steel girders of a building on a roller coaster track, twisting and strengthening to keep you from tumbling into space. And here's where it gets even more insane. Consciousness itself might become a strategic tool. Humans could develop mental superpowers, like a cosmic version of Jedi mind tricks, to will themselves to stay grounded, to focus their thoughts like a gravitational magnet. Imagine hearing the faint hum of muscles tightening, an organic symphony of adaptation, and feeling the bones subtly recalibrating beneath your skin as your body learns to dance with the chaos. This is biological evolution on hyperdrive. Our bodies, no longer passive receivers, become active chaos masters. And that changes everything. Your new, resilient body is a living, breathing testament to survival in the most unpredictable, never imaginable. Just think what other crazy adaptations will emerge next. Write it down in the comments. My quantum toaster needs new ideas. Ha! Ways for... Oh, wow! Just imagine a world where society itself is split into regions defined by gravity. High gravity zones, where you feel like you're trying to lift a mountain, and low gravity areas where you float around like a cosmic balloon. And here's the kicker. The entire economy adapts to this bizarre gravitational landscape. Industries bloom around gravity-modulating tech. Think giant levitation factories, gravity shields, and personal weight adjustment devices. You might even see gravity brokers. Yes, that's right. Specialists who negotiate your access to stable gravity zones, turning social privilege into a literal, weighty status symbol. Social hierarchies aren't just about wealth or intelligence anymore. They're about who gets to live in the sweet spot of stable gravity, where you can walk without feeling like you're on a cosmic roller coaster. And the rich, they're the ones floating effortlessly in their private, low-gravity mansions, luxury estates that seem to hover in the sky like floating castles, while the less fortunate struggle with constant weight shifts, their social standing measured by their gravity access. Oh, and the sounds! Imagine the constant hum of gravity generators, the whooshing of floating vehicles, and the occasional clang of someone trying to walk on a rocky patch of high gravity. Much, much stranger. And that changes everything. Society has become a layered cake of gravitational privilege, forging new hierarchies that are as unpredictable as a gravity wave. That's just one of the consequences. What other absurd chain reaction can you think of? Write it down in the comments. My quantum toaster needs new ideas. Phase 5, my fellow cosmic explorers! Pause for a moment and imagine this, a world where gravity isn't just a gentle pull, but a chaotic, unpredictable dance partner. You wake up, whoosh! Your bed feels like a trampoline, bouncing you into the ceiling. Then, suddenly, gravity shifts, down feels like up feels like sideways, and your entire environment becomes a playground of the bizarre. Much, much stranger. Right, and this is where it gets interesting. People start developing new rituals, chants, and mythologies centered around mastering or embracing these gravity flips. Some build temples with floating altars and levitating statues, while others craft philosophies that teach acceptance of the mutable, unpredictable force that once kept planets in place. Imagine communities gathering in levitating circles, chanting, "Gravity is our dance, our chaos, our truth." The sounds of laughing children bouncing unpredictably, the hum of floating markets, and the whispers of ancient tales echoing through the upside-down streets, and that changes everything. Identity shifts as people redefine what it means to hold on to stability when spirituality evolves into a cosmic acceptance of impermanence. Societies are built on the idea that chaos is the new order and control is an illusion. And that, my friends, is just the beginning of the cultural and psychological upheaval. What other absurd chain reactions can you imagine? Write it down in the comments. My quantum toaster needs new ideas. Phase 6. Imagine a world where gravity is no longer a dependable buddy, but a mischievous trickster, flipping moods and landscapes like a cosmic carnival ride. You wake up, and instead of the comforting weight of morning, your bed feels like it's floating on a bubble of nothingness, then suddenly plummeting to the ceiling as gravity wobbles out for a quick jog. The air hums with unpredictable vibrations, and the sounds are a chaotic symphony, whooshes, booms, and squeals as objects dance out of control. Just picture trying to walk one moment, you're a graceful ballerina. The next, a pinball ricocheting across the room, bouncing off walls and furniture like a pinball wizard on a sugar rush. And this is where it gets interesting. Humanity faces a pivotal choice. Do we evolve into hyper-adaptable explorers mastering the chaos of fluctuating gravity, or do we crumble beneath the relentless, unpredictable forces? The brave might develop tech that tunes into gravity's whims, turning chaos into a tool rather than a threat. Imagine spacecraft with gravity sensors so sensitive they can surf the waves of fluctuating pull, or cities built with floating platforms that shift with the cosmic tides. Or much stranger, societies that worship gravity as a divine force, crafting rituals around its capricious moods. And that changes everything. So the question is, are we daring enough to dance with the chaos, or will we be crushed beneath it? That's just one of the consequences. What other absurd chain reaction can you think of? Write it down in the comments. My quantum toaster needs new ideas.